tell you what, we got action.
Action, baby.
We got action this morning. Steiny Guru in the house with you. And something... I should have come out with things are percolating.
Or Buffalo Springfield, something's happening here.
Yeah, it seems apparent that the Portland Trailblazers are set on moving on from Jrue Holiday quickly. And there's a team in the Bay that reportedly has some interest, and that is the Golden State Warriors in Jrue Holiday.
Man.
And it would involve Chris Paul. And I'll throw it to Goo in a sec, but Chris Paul can be traded today if need be. He just can't be traded to Phoenix or the Washington Wizards. Okay. But he can be traded today. So, let's go, Warrior fans. You want Jrue Holiday? You want to pay the price for Jrue Holiday? He's a hell of a player, Goo.
No doubt about it. And working with you, partner, all you talk about is scenarios to where if things, not being negative here, but if things weren't to work out for this Warrior team, mainly the big three, what would you do 2-3 years from now? Even though guys are under contract, that hit me in the cardiac muscle. But I'm telling you, sometimes things happen in other places, other relationships to where men and women and teams benefit from that. And now the byproduct of yesterday's blockbuster trade is one Jrue Holiday is on the market. Listen, I love, you know how much Jonathan Kuminga. I thought Draymond not re-signing or re-upping with the Warriors would give him the runway to blossom and spread his wings, spread your wings. And that didn't happen. I love JK, but I would package JK and the sixth starter, the origin of that, which is CP3, because this has not been a smooth transition. There is a rat on the table. Shout out Atco. And now, if you could put a 2026 first-round pick in there along with Kuminga and CP3, I think everybody benefits, but the Bay Area and Dub Nation would benefit from the big three. Just got an injection of hoop greatness. And
Chris
that
Paul.
No, he's gone the other way. We got somebody coming north. That's Jrue Holiday, one of the best ball defenders in the game. A guy that's clutch, that knows how to run a team. What are we waiting for?
I don't have a bad thing to say about Jrue Holiday.
Wow. You always been high on him.
Always. Guy can guard multiple positions. Not a great shooter.
Man.
But a terrific
We got that.
defender.
We got it shooting already, Steiny.
I mean, when you start thinking about fit, to me, Jrue Holiday is the kind of guy that can fit on any team because he can defend the 1, 2, 3 if you need to. Question is, are you willing to give up Kuminga for him? That's who I'm asking for if I'm Portland. And you know what's funny, Goose? We spent all last year, and I think for the most part, you like Kuminga more than I like Kuminga. Right. And you wanted him to play more, and I wanted him to learn more, earn it. But you know what's funny is now push comes to shove, I don't think I'm making that deal. I don't want to trade Kuminga, believe it or not.
So you would say no to Jrue?
I don't. Let me be precise. I'm not saying no to Jrue. I just don't want to trade Kuminga.
Well, that's what it's going to take.
Well, then
because you got to give. We talked about it yesterday, Steiny. You got to give up something to get something in this world.
I know.
And oh my gosh, imagine what Jrue would do for Dre, Clay, and Steph. You talked about it. They need the infusion of, oh my God, a guy we don't need to change his diapers. No learning curve. Because let me tell you something, Steiny. Evan Spadoni, the line is around the corner, I believe, for Jrue Holiday's services. He ain't Dame, but if you got game already, what he brings to the table can put you over the top.
I would think most contenders would be very interested in Jrue Holiday. I don't think that, you know what? I know most contenders are interested in Jrue Holiday. You just have to go around. I mean, the Miami Heat, you're damn right they would take Jrue Holiday.
Celtics?
The Warriors would love to have Jrue Holiday. The Celtics would love to have him. I guarantee they'd love to have him in L.A. in either one of those
just
teams.
Go ahead. Him and Paul George on the perimeter?
There's no sense in going through the teams. I mean, any team that's a contender could fit a guy like Jrue Holiday on their team. And the beauty of Jrue Holiday is he can fit on any team. And that's kind of, in a crazy kind of way. I'm not saying Jrue Holiday's better than Damian Lillard.
Okay.
I'm not saying that. But in a crazy kind of way, I could see teams being way more interested in Jrue Holiday than Damian Lillard. The teams that are just, if you're close, I think if you think you're close, Jrue Holiday makes sense.
And the Warriors already have their closer or closers, if you want to throw the daggers from three, the jump shooter. They got the closer. Other teams like Milwaukee needed another closer. They got that. Jrue will help you get there, Steiny, and he can close it out with his legs, his defense. But I'm shocked right now because on the First NorCal Credit Union YouTube chat and the Comcast Business text line, Steiny, I'm getting Guru Computer.
Okay.
65% are saying don't trade Kuminga. He can't reach his full potential here, I don't believe.
You might be right. I mean, Draymond Green's here, and as long as Draymond Green's here and Wiggins is here,
oh, man.
I mean, Kuminga's going to be swimming upstream, if you will.
So I'm saying this would be the Warriors' new death lineup.
That's premature.
If you could get him.
Premature. This is a 44-win team. Let's not go with the nicknames yet. Okay?
Well,
all right.
Boy.
Here's a good question. Why would Portland want Chris Paul and not Jrue Holiday? They don't want Jrue Holiday. They're going young. All right. They have no, like, if you don't want Jrue Holiday, then you don't want anybody. And so they're going to try to move Jrue Holiday for a young player and more picks.
All right.
So if they got to take Chris Paul to get Kuminga and a pick or two, I think they'd do that in a heartbeat. And then you know what? And they try to move Chris Paul again. The Blazers.
Yeah, no doubt.
So,
what would Chris Paul do for, like, Boston? They lost Marcus Smart, who wasn't smart in certain situations, but he was a dog, Steiny, and they had success. But, man, oh, man, this is a chip that could the landscape of the league right now.
888-957-9570 is the number. The Warriors, they are linked to Jrue Holiday. Now, they're linked to Jrue Holiday along with a lot of other teams. He's going to be very sought after. There's going to be some good proposals for him, I would think.
Man.
Can the Warriors put together a proposal that beats everybody else, but yet they don't sacrifice too much?
And tell me if you feel me on this. You feel me knocking. The sixth starter right on the table, which we all believe there's something going on, and I don't want to say it's necessarily a bad thing, but I don't think it's a good thing, Steiny, because when you talk about it and you put every component in there, you talk about Chris Paul's streak of starting. I'm sure that means a lot to him. Just everything. This gives you an opportunity to bypass dealing with all that and what comes of that. You know, like the residue from that. This is like a gift from the basketball gods to where, we thought we had to deal with that. We didn't. Jrue's here. It makes sense.
The Warriors right now remind me of who's the guy, the Popeye guy? Wimpy? Who's a hamburger?
Yeah, pay you on Tuesday.
I will gladly pay you Tuesday for
Wimpy.
A burger today.
Where you going?
Feels like that's what the Warriors are doing. We will take Jrue Holiday today, and we will pay for it later, but we don't care.
And that's what winning teams do.
I don't know. Winning teams also prepare for the future. Winning teams also look 5 years down the road.
You got Jackson Davis. You got Moody. You got Pajinski. You got Rudy Gay.
Not yet.
Well,
he's got to make the team. Rudy Gay's got to make the team. He's 37.
Yeah.
So 888-957-9570 is the number. And Jrue Holiday. What would you give up to get Jrue Holiday? Or do you not want Jrue Holiday? Are you okay with Chris Paul? So here's something that I've heard now twice about Chris Paul. It's kind of interesting to me. I'm reading Brian Windhorst's column on ESPN, and he said that the Warriors have been pleased with Chris Paul and his trying to fit in to the Warriors.
Okay.
So I'm hearing the same thing. I'm hearing that Chris Paul is around. Like, he's around. I've heard that Chris Paul's not only around, that Chris Paul has already been talking to the young players. He's in the facility. He's doing Chris Paul things. In the words of a guy who knows, guy said he's an effing pro. Chris Paul. He's like, he gets it. All right, so that tells me that even if Chris Paul's not crazy about being here, he's still a leader, and he's going to do the right thing, and he's going to be who he is, which is a guy that is just respected throughout the league. So I could see a situation in which they trade for Chris Paul, and he says, I mean, all things being equal, Mike, Dunleavy, and Steve, I'd rather not be here, but I'm Chris Paul, and I'm going to do that. And maybe they said, look, we're going to, we still may make some moves. We'll keep that in mind. And in the meantime, Chris Paul is being the leader that Chris Paul is. He just happens to be doing it for the Golden State Warriors. They have a lot of young players who need mentoring. And guess what? The veterans on this team last year, how'd they mentor? Last year?
And the head coach.
Apparently Chris Paul's pretty good at that. So I'm just saying that Windhorst wrote that the organization has been encouraged by Chris Paul and his fit here. And I'm here to tell you that I'm hearing the same thing, that Chris Paul.
So then the Warriors are out then, Steiny.
What do you mean?
Then they shouldn't take a flyer. Like there's no trade imminent then if they're falling in love with that, because everything that you're saying I love, but that's come on, he's doing his job, and I know CP3's a pro, but I mean I can't fall in love or let that, when we don't even know what his role's going to be on the floor, supersede making my team better.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. I'm saying that if Chris Paul doesn't want to be here, the best way to get out of here is by making everybody think Chris Paul's going to be here for a while. And how do you do that? You integrate yourself in the franchise. I'm sure, Chris Paul is doing the right thing, and I think the Warriors are trying to accommodate Chris Paul.